Who are these people?
All right. Welcome to another episode of Angel in the Afternoon. I am Angel Rivera, of course, alongside my guest, Alex Knight. Thank you for joining us tonight. And how are we going?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm good. So, yep, as everybody knows, we're going to go through some stuff this week or today. And we have Donald Trump is basically set up most of his cabinet, as far as I know, almost all of it. And we also have the Democrats and or liberals in particular doing election denial. So we'll get into that as well. That should be fun. After all the stuff all the crap they've talked about, like getting not allowed to deny election, thing like that. Apparently, we are now. If you ask them now, they very easily turn right around, deny results, and the other things we'll get to today as well. So yeah, if I can find what I'm looking for, I'll get started. Okay, hold on. So yeah, as everybody knows, we'll go through this real quick and then get to our main stories. So Alex Jones, everybody knows, is Infowars was allegedly sold yesterday, and I say allegedly because now there's a story out saying that it wasn't sold after all. It was sold to the Onion initially, to the people on the Onion, and they wanted to turn Infowars into like a satirical spoof of what Alex Jones did, and make fun and laugh at it. Turns out that the auction was illegal, or there's something happened where it was questionable. So a federal judge ordered, no, we got to look at this. We got to see what's going on here. So the sale's been stopped, and Alex Jones has retained control of Infowars for now, at least. So let me. Oh no, let me. No, actually, let me do this. Yeah. So Alex Jones is not. He still has Infowars for now, but some point he's gonna. Since he's filed for bankruptcy, I'm sure that he'll be forced to sell it off at some point. But for now, he still has full control of it. So not many people are really reporting on this. They reported on the fact that Alex Jones, had Infowars was forced to sell it in a bankruptcy court, but nobody's bothered reporting the update. Wonder why that is? Just to make fun of him? I mean, it's what it comes across as. So it's like, your shit got sold. Oh no, we're not going to talk about it. So we're not going to talk about the fact that it wasn't sold, and there probably was some shenanigans going on.
It'd be better if the Young Turks got sold.
Yeah, well, only one news organization bothered to even cover it, and it's this Hindustan Times, whatever the hell that is. So Texas judge, hold on, right? So you can barely see that.
I can see it.
All right. Texas judge halts the Onion's winning bid for Alex Jones Infowars network. I personally don't care. Okay. A Texas judge halted the Onion's successful bid for the conspiracy theorist Alex Jones Infowars network due to concerns regarding the process of the bidding. A Texas judge halted the Onion's successful bid for conspiracy theorist Alex Jones Infowars network due to concerns regarding the process of bidding and what the provocateur refers to as a rigged fake auction. The bid, according to the Satirical's news outlet, was approved by the families of the Sandy Hook victims, which prevailed in a 2002 defamation lawsuit against Alex Jones for $1.4 billion. However, Judge Christopher Lopez declared that the purpose of the meeting was to determine if the auction's organizers conducted a fair and full process. He was speaking at a status conference which was conducted in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District of Texas. The judge stated that nobody should feel comfortable about what transpired, adding that I personally don't care who wins the auction. I care about process and transparency. According to the Daily Mail, the hearing date has not been set yet. Jones has been furious about the exact procedure since the satirical news site's winning bid revealed on Thursday. Later, Myth Jones asserted in 2 videos uploaded on social media that the auction is not yet official. My lawyers had a total consensus. They never said anything like it. This was a private secret sale, basically illegal. This bankruptcy crime on its face is disguised as an auction wasn't really an auction. The people didn't even pay real money. They paid some weird fiat thing that wasn't agreed to by judge order, and then they had the corporate media say the Onions bought Infowars, he added. According to him, the judge informed the trustee that it wasn't an auction, that he didn't grant the trustee permission to do so. Let's see. So, 1-minute video. I'm not playing all that.
Gotta say, Alex Jones has lost a ton of weight in the last few years.
Well, this is good. It's 2 minutes.
All right, I shot a special report on this that I posted at Real Alex Jones about 2 hours ago. And then I was actually reading the transcripts from the multi-hour emergency court hearing today in federal bankruptcy court in Houston. And then I called all the lawyers and talked to them, and they had a total consensus. They've never seen anything like it. The words were exactly, this was a private secret sale, basically illegal is the word that's used. Basically, it's crime. I mean, bankruptcy crime. I mean, on its face. Disguised as an auction that wasn't an auction. And the people didn't even pay real money. They paid some weird fiat thing that wasn't even agreed to by the judge's order. And then they had the corporate media say that the Onion bought Infowars. And then the judge kept saying to the trustee that did this, I didn't give you the authority to do this. You were supposed to come to me about an auction. This isn't even an auction. And then it's just all over the news that they just bought it and they won the bid and they did that. But then they quote the U.S. trustee going, well, it's not the highest bid, but it's the best bid. These people just think they can do anything. It's crazy. So nobody sees how the federal judge, who's known for being straight-laced and not corrupt at all, Judge Chris Lopez, cannot end this fake sale, which he basically said didn't happen. He's having an emergency evidentiary hearing sometime next week. He hasn't announced the date yet. And bare minimum, there'll be a new open public auction. Probably more is going to happen. I mean, this is unprecedented, folks. Just like the last trustee he fired back on June 14th tried to close the building without a court order. There's a lot of behind the scenes deep state goings on here, and this is a big deal. I've been up since 5 a.m. dealing with this. I'm about to go to sleep. I'll be covering all live from the new studios of the Alex Jones Network at AJN Live on X. Please follow me there. But this is going to be big. Everybody out there thinking InfoWars was shut down, you're in for a rude awakening.
There you go. It wasn't shut down. Alex still owns the thing for now, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, Deep State. You already read that. You're in rude awakening. Just 2 hours later, he provided more updates in the process from the InfoWars studios. The headlines you see everywhere, the onions about InfoWars, is not true. He expressed his ire at the trustees' refusal to accept the highest bid, as well as their refusal to disclose the winner and the possibility of using credit during the auction. Jones said they bought my company and a rigged fake auction didn't happen when money didn't exist. He further alleged that the winners of the auction shut down his radio and TV stations and even hijacked his website. Jones filed personal bankruptcy late 2022 after the family's triumphed in suits in Connecticut and Texas over its allegations that the school shooting claimed the lives of 20 children and 6 adults were a hoax. This is the reason why behind the auction in January, InfoWars will be relaunched as a spoof of itself under the name The Onion, according to the New York Times. That's if they get it. Because there's something else that I read, not in this article, but somewhere else, which was interesting. Apparently, some of the lawyers that Elon Musk sent some attorneys to stop this sale, an injunction. Why would Elon Musk do that unless he's interested in buying InfoWars?
Yeah.
So it seems like I'm speculating, but it comes across as Elon Musk wanted to buy InfoWars. The families of the Sandy Hook victims did not want Elon Musk to end up with it because, as everybody knows, he probably would just let Alex Jones run it anyway. So it's like, so they didn't want that. They want to punish him. So it's like, no, let's just sell it to the Onion for less money, and we'll just make fun of it. Let the Onion make fun of InfoWars. Instead, I'm speculating, but it could be that Elon Musk had the highest bid, and again, they didn't want to sell it to him. So because he's a billionaire, of course he's gonna. If he wants it, he's gonna get it. But of course, it's like, oh no, that's why what's going on here, and it's technically illegal for them to sell. If you're in bankruptcy court, you get as much money as you can from it. That way, the creditors, in this case, the Sandy Hook victim family, get as much money as possible. Why would they want less money? I don't know. I'm speculating, but it's probably about punishing Alex Jones more than getting all their money, because they're owed like $1.4 billion in that lawsuit, which nobody can pay back. So nobody can pay that money. So basically, it's just fuck you, Alex Jones. We got your company now. Oh, it turns out we don't have your company. That's weird. Well, we're gonna cheat again, so let's look out for that. But I digress. Now that's the update there with Alex Jones and his situation. Let's so yeah, let's get to Donald Trump's appointees, because as everybody knows, over the last week he has a bunch of appointees to his cabinet and filling out his administration. So it started out throughout the week where one of the first picks we've heard was Marco Rubio to the State Department. That's the Secretary of State. Another pick was his chief of staff. It was his campaign manager. I forget her name right now. Which basically she's a lobbyist, for industry. So, and also a Zionist. So okay, of course, I forget her name right now. So I don't. And then Mike Huckabee was appointed ambassador to Israel, which is probably the worst pick, so far have been announced. I mean, if Marco Rubio is a Zionist, Mike Huckabee is nothing but a religious zealot. He's a complete religious zealot to the point where it's like he believes in the end times prophecy from Revelations, where
and the it's Rubio meme is dead. When Trump said it's Rubio, that's dead now.
Oh yeah, I mean, so yeah, let's get to this. Then we'll talk about more of the picks in a minute, but This is video.
Ningún senador,
You're gonna have to read this because it's in Spanish. So let's.
ningún senador ha logrado más durante los últimos 6 años que lo que ha logrado yo en Washington. La política de Estados Unidos de Trump hacia Cuba, que fue diseñada directamente por yo, fue diseñada directamente por yo, y que todavía sigue en vigor. Ningún senador.
Yeah, so he's bragging about the fact that his Trump's Cuba policy was basically set up by Marco Rubio, and Trump completely followed it to a T. Going back to being hawkish on Cuba again, and Rubio's proud of himself. Well, it was me, I set that up, and Trump followed it, and so did Joe Biden, by the way. So Biden didn't change much either. So Marco is like, what are you talking about, man? I mean, I set up that policy. It wasn't Trump. I mean, he just took credit for another neocon policy there. But yep, Marco Rubio's at state. So those were probably the worst picks, and they were announced first. Then at Secretary of Defense, we have Pete Hegseth, which is a third-string Fox News host that basically hosts on the weekend. But somehow Trump just picked him to be Secretary of Defense. Like, okay, third-string Fox News host, So it's not even one of the stars of Fox News. I even forgot he existed. So he's the Secretary of Defense. His only experience is he served in the military. He did tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. But okay, again, it's out of the box at least. That's the only thing good I can say about that. It's not your standard 4-star former retired general that's now a lobbyist for Boeing or something. Like the current Secretary of Defense is. Which I forget his name right now. But yeah, I mean, at least it's not that. He's not a lobbyist, and a retired general from the military. But holy crap! I mean, he picked, like, when I saw Trump picks Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense. I'm like, who?
Yeah.
Like, oh, a Fox News guy. Okay. Like, literally, that's what he picked. He just looked at Fox News and like, who should I pick? Oh, that guy, Pete Hegseth. Of course, yeah. I like him, so. He gets him as Secretary of Defense now. There you go. Very important position in the administration, but just give it to a Fox News host.
Yeah.
Good. Again, it's like the meltdown. Another reason why I say good, because the meltdown from the liberals are just been this perfect, this beautiful. I love every second of watching these guys just lose their shit over the fact that, oh my God, and not the usual technocratic, bureaucrats are being picked. It's bullshit. We need those technocratic, but at the same time, they complain on Marco Rubio, too, who is part of that technocratic, bureaucratic elite in Washington. But they have a problem with that, too. So which one is it? Then let's get to the border czar, who is Tom Homan. You might remember Tom Homan from the first Trump administration in that hearing with AOC where he basically ran circles around her. Even though I don't agree much with what he said there, but he did run circles around her. And he was in the Obama administration too, so he's been a part of the border security thing now for years now.
Yeah.
So he got picked as a border czar. By the way, the good news for Trump, he doesn't have to confirm this guy. So the border czar is just somebody he hires, and that's it. There's nothing that they can do about it. So I have the clip I'm talking about with him and AOC. Him running circles around AOC. I have it here. So. Meet Trump's border czar, blah, blah, blah.
Through this memo.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo.
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation was option 3, family separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation, of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Holman, with
family.
all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you enter the country illegally, it's violation of
Yeah,
8
it's
United
illegal.
States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The
Oof.
Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
He ran circles around her, even though it's embarrassing. Well, shit. It is illegal to cross the border like that. It is a violation of federal code, even though
I mean, where
Democrats.
was AOC's outrage when Biden and Kamala were doing it?
Yeah, it is a violation of federal law. And if you want to seek asylum, go to the port of entry, which is a legal place to do it. You can't just what's going on now is basically they cross the border anywhere. And as soon as the border patrol busts them, it's like, oh yeah, I'm seeking asylum. That's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to go to the port of
You
entry.
also have the clip where he was interviewed. He was either on CNN or MSNBC. Oh, he was like all of them or whatever it was. Do you know that other viral clip I'm talking about?
Holman. I don't remember. Maybe yeah. Let me see.
It was either CNN or MSNBC, or maybe even a different mainstream media.
Yeah. So Tom Holman became border czar again. So. And the liberals love it. By the way, he looks like he aged 20 years. If you've seen him recently, he looks like he's aged quite a bit. But yeah, I digress. The conservatives really love this pick because he's a zealot when it comes to the border. He'll follow the law to the T, no matter what, no matter how brutal it is, or no matter how. When Trump takes office and we see the separating of children from their mothers again, and we see. Quite frankly, we're going to see people we like being deported under Trump. We're going to see that. Because all of us know somebody who's not in the country legally. We all know somebody like that. But most likely, they're going to be deported. And we're going to be like, holy shit! I mean, they're really serious about it now. And here's the difference in the first term. Donald Trump won the popular vote, so they're going to be emboldened to do whatever they want now. It's not like they're going to. It's not like they're going to be emboldened. But I can't find that clip. But this is I think I know. I can't find it though. But that was the one I was referring to. But there's this one too. Tom Holman's 34 years of experience in humanity exemplifies why he's the correct choice to be Trump's border czar. At least it's not Kamala Harris.
And you're the member.
We agree on that.
Fix it.
We agree.
Mr.
Holman, you have said that most immigrants are, quote, not criminals other than the criminal act that they do when they enter the country illegally. That is why I think we ought to revisit decriminalizing desperation, striking sections 1325 and 1326 of Title VIII of the U.S. Code, the statutes that the administration has leveraged to separate thousands of children from their families. Mr. Holman, do you understand that the consequences of separation of many children will be lifelong trauma and carried across generations? Have we not learned from the internment of Japanese Americans? Mr. Holman, I'm a father. Do you have children? How can you possibly allow this to happen under your watch? Do you not care? Is it because these children don't look like children that are around you? I don't get it. Have you ever held a deceased child in your arms?
First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my
I find your
I've served my
comments
country. I've served my country for 34 years.
I find your comments
This is out of
disgusting
control.
as well.
I've served my country for 34 years, and yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms. In back of that tractor trailer, I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life were like, and I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member.
We agree on that.
Fix it.
We agree on that, but I disagree. But I also disagree with your characterization of immigrants as prone to criminality.
People for 3 decades on this.
Gentlemen, time has expired.
No one in this room has seen
Time's
what I've seen in my
expired.
34-year career. Very well. No one has experienced what I've
No,
experienced.
he's begging for the Congress people to fix this because he's just doing his job in his head. He's like, no, well, this is the law is now. I'm following the law to a T. So if you have a problem with this, fix it. Why are you bothering me for? I mean, don't I'm just the officer here, you know, following the law. So
Yeah.
Experience. I saw many dead bodies coming across this border. And you want to talk about the memo? This memo is one option to stop death. Not just about enforcing the law, stop death. If you want to legalize illegal immigration, good luck with that, because it's going to get a hell of a lot worse on that border. If you say, well, okay, from now on, there will be no consequence, no deterrence. It's not illegal to come to this country illegally. More families would come. 31% women would be raped. More children would die. We're a nation of laws. If you don't like it, sir, change it. You're the legislator. I'm the executive branch. And I've served my country honorably for 34 years. And I will not sit here and have anybody say that I don't care about children because you're not the same color as my children. Thank you very much.
well, there you go.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, no, please. I mean, don't. So this is a more. He talks about how families can be deported together on a 60 Minutes interview recently. So he's not backing down from this opinion where
That might be the one I was talking about. If you can bring it up.
Yeah, I mean that's no. Yeah, so I can't see it unfortunately, but yeah, I mean he's gonna be your border czar. So there you go, guys. I mean, this is what Americans voted for. So now let's see how long it's gonna last before Trump's popularity goes away. Because look, it happened in the first term too when he started doing like deportations and stuff. And here's the thing: here's the dirty little secret people don't talk about: the fact that Democratic administrations, both Obama and Biden, deported more immigrants than Trump did. And why? Because we've talked about it. Let me pull up a
Obama and Biden were the one that built the cages.
yeah. Democratic governor won't cooperate. Yeah, Democratic governors basically are refusing to cooperate with Trump administration. They're going to do that again because they did it in the first term too. This is the reason why they didn't deport as many immigrants as they wanted to, because they refused to cooperate. The Democratic governors. So this is a article from a couple of days ago from Reuters. And they say, oops, there we go. Democratic governors create group to resist Trump policies. Governors Illinois and Colorado said on Wednesday they will co-chair a coalition, mostly a Democratic-led state, to fight back against, bless you, policies to incoming Republican President Donald Trump, blah, blah, blah. With the Governors Safeguarding Democracy group, J.B. Pritzker and Gelopoulos of Colorado joined attorney generals and other Democratic governors who are pledged to resist Trump's policies on everything from immigration to rollbacks on environmental protections.
Wasn't J.B. Pritzker the one who was like, "Well, take it from an actual billionaire"? Wasn't he? Wasn't that the guy?
Yeah. He's bragging about his wealth, and Trump is not a real billionaire, and he is, which is not going to help you. I mean, people don't like billionaires right now. So even if Trump is a fake billionaire, let's say, that it's not going to help you when you say, "Well, I'm a real billionaire," Among other things, Trump, who won a decisive victory over Democrat Kamala Harris in last week's election, has pledged to use federal law enforcement to investigate his political foes. You're not going to do that. Launch the largest deportation effort in American history and purge colleges, university, and diversity programs. In previous years, mostly conservative states, most notably Texas, have filed lawsuits and stepped in and tried to rein in Democratic Party presidents. The Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton this week sent out an email highlighting his 100th lawsuit against the administration of President Joe Biden. I mean, he's really spent a lot of time.
When they say that he's going to create the largest deportation or whatever it said, didn't they say the same thing in his first term? Is that
yeah? I mean, Trump claimed that he would create a large deportation force. So that means that they probably have to hire more ICE agents or get the funding for it, or they're going to have to use, other federal agents like the FBI or something. So we'll see what Tom Holman and Trump end up doing, because there's not enough ICE agents right now to get together deportation force they need. We founded the group because we know that simple hope alone won't save our democracy. We need to work together, especially at the state level, to protect and strengthen it. Him and Pritzker did not detail the actions they are contemplating. Responding to the group's formation, Caroline Leavitt, who became the press secretary under Trump, by the way, a spokesperson for the Trump transition team, said that the president-elect will serve all Americans, even those who did not vote for him in the election. He will unify the country through success. So it's whether the new Democratic-led group has much success was unclear. Democratic-led states repeatedly fought against Trump's policy in his first administration, but he still managed to push through a strongly conservative agenda, everything from energy policy to immigration restrictions. Governors Safeguarding Democracy is a nonpartisan group. Why they're all Democrats then? When pressed by reporters on Wednesday call about Republican governors' involvement, Pritzker said the group has been having good conversations with Republican officials, but said they declined to say with whom. So in other words, it's a nonpartisan group which has only Democrats. Earlier, California Governor Gavin Newsom, a Democrat, called for a special legislative session to address Trump's policies. He said threatens the state's values in such areas as civil rights, immigration, and climate. So Gavin Newsom's taking a step forward further. He's calling for a special legislative session to try to figure out what to do. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but Newsom's announcement by saying on social media that the governor is trying to kill. Announcement by saying on social media that the governor is trying to kill our nation's beautiful California. I think that means the president, but put governor there. Washington State's Governor-elect Bob Ferguson, another Democrat who is the state's attorney general, said last week his legal team is preparing for months on how to respond to future Trump policies. So basically, this is what happened in the first term. Democrats refused to cooperate with the Trump administration, especially on immigration, and very few people actually got deported. Meanwhile, with the Biden administration, they all cooperated with him, no problem. Both parties. So that's why Democrats end up deporting more Americans, more illegals than Trump did. Even though Donald Trump is, supposed to be this big bad evil, how dare you deport immigrants? But thank you for joining us, Fred and CBC and Taxi Grave. Give me a like. Also, please subscribe too.
Also, before we go any further, I just want to bring up some other news, Yankee news. I'm sure you heard about the Yankees, or Dave Sims being the new Yankees radio announcer for John Sterling.
Yeah, he's they replaced or John Sterling retired, even though he came back, for the playoffs, but he actually had retired at the beginning of the season. So yeah, they got their new radio host, which he's a New Yorker and apparently was a Yankee fan too. So the Mariners apparently lost. I heard him; he's really good at being a radio announcer. So the Mariners have lost him, and come on, why is this getting notified here? But
I hear the notifications.
You know what? Let's just do this. Sorry. Mute. All right. So the Mariners, lose their radio guy, and they gotta look for a new one.
No, he was their TV guy, the Mariners TV guy. That's who he was.
Oh, so he took a job on the radio then, because he's not. I know he's replacing John Sterling on the radio, so I assume he's a radio guy. So he was the main. So I guess he's I don't want to live in Seattle all year, so I'm just gonna stay here and work in the radio with the Yankees. So I understand. He's a Yankee fan too, apparently, because he went on the WFAN this morning or this afternoon saying all the Yankees, Juan Soto needs to come back to the Yankees. It's like, the hell they're doing, So, and he made the case to Juan Soto on the radio. So it's like, okay, you know what? He's like, you know what? I'm not going to live in Seattle the entire year, and I'll just take a radio job here in the Yankees. So even though Michael Kay is not giving up his position, but as the lead play-by-play guy. But let's see. Secretary of Defense is Pete Host, whatever his name is, and but the more recent cabinet pick you can say are pretty good. But at first, I want to, or you can make an argument for him at the very least. So I want to show.
Well, first we also got to go over what's his name? Matt Walls, is that his name? If that's his first name.
Who is that? I know he appointed a Walls. I just don't know.
And then he also appointed someone who was also part of the Bush administration, who I believe is the oldest guy from the cabinet so far. I forgot his last name.
There had to be a list somewhere of the cabinet he's chosen, but I'll look for it. But I remember right now. But this is the White House staff. This is Kamala Harris's return to the White House after her embarrassing loss, and they all decided to stand outside the White House and just cheer her, and reinflate her ego again after humiliating loss she suffered.
I'm so glad she lost.
Oh yeah, I mean I am too, and liberals were so smug and arrogant throughout the entire election cycle. Like, oh my God, she's gonna crush Donald Trump
and the fake progressives.
Yeah, and they were like, it seemed like her staff was doing the Hillary Clinton deal, where they were already measuring the drapes in the White House and fighting.
Remember, she was getting advice from Hillary Clinton. So
yeah, she was taking advice from her, and Kamala's staff was already like measuring the drapes in the White House and fighting over office space. It seemed like because they assumed they would win. So
yeah.
Like, okay, what? No, I want press secretary. I want this position. And it's like they were arrogant. Same thing Hillary Clinton people. Like they were already fighting over positions, even though she hadn't won yet.
Yeah.
So this is the White House staff, Biden administration staff, just completely kissing her ass and sucking up to her, and in order to reinflate her ego, because I'm sure she's humiliated. She's been hiding since the loss on Tuesday. This is her return to the White House.
There is joy coming in the morning.
This is the losers. This is the losers brigade here. You know, this isn't like they act like she won the election. Look at this.
I know. Hey, Kamala, we're moving.
If you didn't know any better, you say she won the election, and they're ready to, take the White House in January.
And I'm glad that the Tulsi Gabbard ownage towards Kamala in that debate. I'm glad that will continue on forever.
Oh yeah, her political career is over. I mean, she lost to Donald Trump in humiliating fashion. She lost the Electoral College. She lost the popular vote. The House, the Senate's gone. Everything's gone. I mean, and she was the leader of the party, so it's like. There's no way she can. She might run again just because out of ego, but they're not going to clear the deck for her like they did this time around. So there's going to be an open primary, and she'll fall flat on her face again and have to drop out. And then, like I said last night on Snow Show, I'm thinking the Democrats will nominate Pete Buttigieg, and they'll use the whole SJW thing and with him. But this time, instead of being
maybe it might even be AOC running in 2028.
Not only if you're racist, but you're also you're gay too. Hey, Angel, I dropped by to your stream to give you a like. Hope all your viewers do too. Thank you, Bad Cookies, and yes, make sure you do give me a like. Appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, if you didn't know any better, if you just woke up from a coma and you're seeing this, you think she won the election, and they're ready to take the White House. But nope, she lost. By the way, we'll make that.
Your love. Camera through in the way. Camera.
Secret Service had discovered. Don't get too close to the outgoing vice president. We still got work to do, sounds like she said.
What? Huh?
There's supposed to be a microphone on that camera here, but I can't hear anything.
So grateful that I lost to Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
Now she's going in the White House.
What a clown show.
Fence.
So yeah, that's that. The entire White House staff came out to basically, reinflate her ego after humiliating loss in last week, and I mean, it's like like I said, it's like he won the election. It's like, but she's like basically, oh, we still got work to do. We got 2 months left, and let's just finish strong. That's what it sounded like he said. It's like a head football coach. It's like you're down by 30 points in the fourth quarter. It's like, hey guys, we're gonna lose, but let's finish strong. One of those things.
The other cabinet pick we should go over is Kristi Noem.
Oh yeah, so Kristi Noem is the new I'm head of Homeland Security. Mm-hmm. So Trump is, by the way, she has no experience as a cop. She's never been a cop. She's been a politician most of her life, and it's like, oh yeah, let me just give.
And she killed that dog.
Yeah, she killed a dog. So it's like apparently that didn't bother Trump too much. So
well, she was possibly in Trump talked to maybe become his VP, but
yeah, he was. I mean,
that took her out of that position. So
yeah, it came. I heard, that she was probably one of the favorites to become.
Yeah,
she's supposed to become Trump's VP initially, but because she was seen as like a Trump loyalist, and she wouldn't question Trump no matter what he said. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, she had the incident with the dog, and and quite frankly, she's done. It's like she can't be VP, but if I win, she'll definitely get a position, and that's what happened. She won. So let's see. So we have Noam over there at Homeland Security. Donald Trump is also considering Mike Rogers, Representative Mike Rogers, for the FBI, to head up the FBI.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so he is considering Mike Rogers. He's probably the favorite, even though, let's see, there's a video here that I saw. So Fred says no murdered an untrained puppy. Yeah, I mean, that's the story. That's why she didn't get a VP. She didn't get the VP pick. Instead, it went to JD Vance. So now JD Vance kind of becomes, the front runner for 28. Trump domestic appointments have been mostly perfect. He has a chance to make the best cabinet, blah, blah. If he appoints Mike Rogers to head up the FBI, it'll upset much of the process he's done. So he's just a neocon, Mike Rogers. So.
And I credit George Bush and his administration for assembling this new intelligence community. They passed the Patriot Bill that allows and takes the handcuffs off our intelligence services. Policymakers back here use words like illegal wiretap.
The domestic surveillance program of the NSA. It could be abused.
We're already seeing pressure on the Patriot Act that maybe we don't need it now. Couldn't be further from the truth. The bulk telephone metadata program is legal and effective. Provisions of...
And you see that? The NSA phone program cost $100 million, but only produced 2 unique leads. So all that illegal warrantless wiretapping the NSA did over years, I mean, it only got 2 unique leads, and it cost $100 million. What a waste of money.
Phone metadata program is
and even
legal.
if it got more leads, it's still highly illegal. So
and effective. Provisions of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act expire at the end of this month. We need to rapidly reauthorize these provisions, and we need to work toward making these tools permanent as a part of our arsenal. Self-restriction, big problem in U.S. intelligence collection. We're the only intelligence service in the world that is forced to go to a court. But we always joked in the intelligence space, we would love to get 1/10 of what Google has on you.
I supported these programs when they were classified, and I support these programs today.
Oh, Justin.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't know it's a campaign ad, but I just saw that, so it's like, okay, well, that's Mike Rogers for you. He's likely to become director of the FBI under Trump. So if that's the case, then here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just more the same. More neocon, more pro security state.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, this is a good one. This is actually really good. So this is actually real. I'm looking for something like this. Like a picture like this to show me.
Yeah, there
cabinet. Yeah.
Elise Stefanik. We should talk about her too.
Yeah. Obviously, J.D. Vance, VP, Marco Rubio at State, Pete Hegseth, Defense, Attorney General's Matt Gaetz, another one we have got to go over.
Yeah.
Matt Gaetz is just resigned from Congress a couple days ago because
Mhm.
they were about to release a report because the House Ethics Committee was about to release a report on him and all
Yeah.
the terrible stuff he allegedly did. So he
Mhm.
resigned. So now the House, I think it's Mike Johnson, the House Speaker, is trying to get the people not to release it. You know, the
So
House.
the guy who I was thinking of, who was also working for Bush, was John Radcliffe. That's who I was thinking.
Yeah. So Matt Gaetz has resigned from the House, so he's going to take up Attorney General, and former Governor Doug Burgum of what was it, North Dakota, I think he is. He's going to be the head of the Interior or Department of the Interior.
Oh yeah, and we should also don't forget he also hired Elon Musk and Vivek. I can never pronounce his last name. What's his last name?
Ramaswamy as Ramaswamy, but it's not an official government agency. It's like they just made up something and just handed it to Elon Musk and Ramaswamy to shut him up. You know, go off in the corner and play over there while we actually govern here. So nobody yet for agriculture or commerce or labor. RFK Jr. is heading up HHS, which we're going to get to more later because there's a major meltdown. I mean, RFK Jr. was the worst so far. Matt Gaetz, yeah, people melted down with Matt Gaetz, but it's like nothing compared
Well, also,
to RFK
they
Jr.
melted down with Tulsi as well.
Yeah, we'll get Doug Collins is head of the VA.
Funny that they were more upset with Tulsi, but not so much when he hired Stefanik or Rubio.
No,
or,
they were all fine with that. These same liberals who complain about RFK Jr. or Tulsi, but they haven't heard anything really about Marco Rubio or the other guy, Mike Huckabee being the ambassador to Israel, and Stefanik going to the United Nations. I mean, they're perfectly fine about that. Nobody yet at HUD or Housing or Urban Development, Transportation.
So Gold Monarch is saying that Trump has nominated Dennis Porter as head of Bitcoin's strategic reserve. That's what he just said.
Yeah, I know that the administration is trying to get into Bitcoin, but it's not really an official government position yet. So yeah, but yeah, I've heard about he's trying to nominate someone to like head up Bitcoin for the U.S. government to try to get us into Bitcoin more. Christy Noem, the Homeland Security Director, already know that. John Ratcliffe setting up the CIA. So yeah, okay. Susie Wiles, the Chief of Staff, of course. Lee Zeldin is the Environmental Protection Agency head. By the way, he was a congressman, and by the way, he hated the EPA. So now Trump has put him in charge of the EPA. It's like, oh, here, destroy the EPA. You know what I mean? You don't have to do. That's your job, basically. Nobody at OBM yet, Management and Budget Office. Tulsi Gabbard setting up National Intelligence. That means that she's in charge of all the intelligence agencies in the U.S.
Yeah, and you know, she might have a chance to do the funniest thing ever after she was put on the terror watch list.
Yeah, it's ironic now that I'm sure Trump was, trying to. I'm sure he asked Tulsi, "What position do you want? You can have whatever you want in the administration." And she's like, "Yeah, I want national intelligence." Like, okay, sure, whatever, I don't care. You can have that. And now the intelligence agencies are kind of melting down over this because it's like, oh well, holy shit, we put her on the terrorist watch list because we want to do favors for the Democrats, and now it's like, now we're fucked because now she's our boss. She's in charge of about 21 intelligence agencies or 18. It's an insane number. Like, we have a ton of intelligence agencies.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's the CIA, NSA, FBI, Coast Guard, I think, is an intelligence agency technically. I mean, like the military. She's in charge of everything, basically. Science advisor, no small business administration head yet.
And I also want to say it's kind of funny. Tulsi Gabbard got into a cabinet role before people like Bernie and AOC and all these other fake progressives who were supposed to be more popular than Tulsi, but yet she's there. So
yeah, I mean, it seems like Trump keeps his word to his people a lot more than Democrats keep their word to their people. Because again, these progressives endorsed Biden in 2020 without getting anything in return.
Yeah, I was just going to say, got nothing.
Yeah, got nothing. Nothing. Not even like AOC. I remember, I think it was back in 2020 when AOC is supposed to get like a bigger position at one of her committees, and she didn't get it. Instead, it was some other, and it was a Democrat that didn't even endorse Biden. Like he got it over AOC, and AOC just let it go. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. You know, it was AOC supposed to get a bigger position in the House, and she didn't get it. Instead, it was some other guy. Right now, it was a drama of 4 years. I forget
And I assume you'll go over it later on, but I assume you'll go over Warren, AOC, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz attacking Tulsi.
Yeah, I have some of those videos there.
Yeah.
But Tulsi at National Intelligence and Elise Stefanik in the United Nations. So that's so far what we got.
But you look at some of these women he's hired. I thought Trump hated women. I thought he was a misogynist and all that stuff.
Yeah,
What happened?
So far we got Kristi Noem in Homeland Security, Susie Wiles as Chief of Staff, Elise Stefanik as United Nations, and Tulsi Gabbard at National Intelligence. So that's
and
four
now,
right there.
Carolyn Leavitt as his press secretary. So
so that's technically that's 5. Yeah, you want to count her too at the press department as press secretary. So that's 4. That's 5 counting her. So meanwhile, does Biden have 5 in his cabinet right now? 5 females? I mean, I don't know if he has 1, let alone 5.
I probably has more. That's my guess. But I know that the position that Tulsi Gabbard, who's replacing, who was in Biden's cabinet, her name is Avril Haines. I believe that's her name was.
Yeah.
She was the National Intelligence. That's who Tulsi will be replacing. So
I'm on Discord right now trying to wake people up to Tulsi's grift. Tulsi has a rock grip on the people she's gaslighting. Yeah, I mean, she even though she speaks in like a monotone voice, like, hey guys, but somehow she speaks in that monotone tone, like she's on drugs all the time. That's how she comes across, the way she speaks, but that monotone voice. But she manages to hoodwink a lot of people. It's like she was the total opposite of Bernie, but the Bernie was loud and using that thick Brooklyn accent he has, and he did this, and it excited people. And Tulsi was more like the laid back, relaxed, ex-military. Actually, she is in the military technically now, and people gravitated towards her. And honestly, I think people will gravitate towards her again. This time, though, the Republican side, not Democratic side, because I still think she's going to run in 2028, and she probably have an excellent chance coming in nominee, even over J.D. Vance, even though he's the VP right now. But hell, even RFK Jr. That's the thing. If RFK Jr. does what he promises at HHS, or is able to do it, even remotely, he could be a presidential candidate on the Republican side too. So I favor Tulsi, RFK, JD Vance, possibly Matt Gaetz. It's like he might emerge, especially if he sticks out as Attorney General. So Trump has so far an okay cabinet. There's some horrible picks, of course.
I mean, it's not the worst cabinet ever. I will say that.
Yeah, so far. Even though there is like the Small Business Administration, that was Linda McMahon's position for most of Trump's first term. So I'm not sure. I don't think she would want that.
Imagine if Glenn Jacobs gets
you think Kane would want a position in the administration?
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, I think he seems to be happy as the mayor of Knoxville, but if he gets offered a position, I mean, he might take it, especially if it helps his political position later. I would see Linda McMahon taking over as economic advisor.
I'm a little surprised that Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't in there yet. Maybe she'll get a later on, possibly.
I don't know. I mean, I know she endorsed Trump, obviously, but I don't know whether she was like all out there. That I heard a rumor that Lauren Boebert might get Secretary of Education. I saw that on X. I was like, oh no, if she gets Secretary of Education, that's definitely going to trigger the libs and gets that cabinet position. It's like the dumbest person in Congress got Secretary of Education. Like Trump trolling us now? I was like, yeah, he probably is.
As he would say, we do a little trolling. We do a little trolling.
Yeah. So I heard. I don't know. That hasn't been filled yet, as far as I know.
But yeah, we should start going over more of the picks.
Yeah. I suspect Linda McMahon will either get a management and budget or something to do with policy, because she's not going to want to be SBA administrator or head again. Sorry. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll update you on the show definitely when she does get a position, because she's definitely getting a position. I mean, it isn't like, oh, she might even get Treasury. I mean, hey, Treasury's still open. Like, she's gonna want a bigger position because she's been a loyal Trump supporter even after the election, after he lost in 2020. He still was pretty loyal to Trump. So we talked about it on Pro Wrestling Talk on Saturday, but we speculated if Trump might get a pardon Vince McMahon or not. So that's still up in the air. So, this is a more complete list here. So Susie Wiles as Chief of Staff, Marco Rubio at State, Pete Hegseth at Defense, Matt Gaetz Attorney General, Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard,
Mike Waltz.
National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz. He's another neocon and Zionist. Yeah, so that's the one you were talking about. Elise Stefanik is ambassador to the UN. Mike Huckabee is the ambassador to Israel. Steve Witkoff is special envoy to the Middle East. Mike Waltz is the National Security Advisor. John Ratcliffe at CIA. Lee Zeldin, who hates the EPA, but he's the head of it. Bill McKinley or whatever is the White House counsel. Elon Musk at Department of Government Efficiency, and Vivek Ramaswamy at Department of Government Efficiency as well. So it's a more complete list there, but there's more. Yeah, so we'll get to some meltdowns now in a minute here, but let's see. Every time Trump supporters, every time he announces another cabinet member. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what is she? Is she the HHS director right now?
Yeah, I think she's the one that RFK Jr. is replacing.
Yeah, HHS director, Health and Human Services. I can't believe that.
Also, the person on the left, the top left. You go back that.
Yeah. Trump is hiring unqualified cabinet, says the lunatics who gave America this shit show. So somehow, let's see. The mainstream media is panicking because Trump isn't using the FBI to perform background checks on his cabinet picks. He's instead working with private companies to vet prospects and candidates. Smart. Why on earth would he ever trust the FBI after what they've done? So, well, the FBI is the same agency that spied in on Trump's 2016 race. So, and they've investigated the Russiagate things. The FBI started it. Certain agents there. So I don't blame her for not trusting the FBI. So especially under the Biden administration. So let's see, anything else here? Lauren Boebert says the Trump cabinet is basically the American Avengers. Cannot think of a time in history where people absolutely competent were placed in the perfect positions.
So I do want to bring up one thing. Remember a couple weeks ago we were discussing when Anna Kasparian did that post of leaving the left or whatever that was. Remember what I was mentioning? The funniest thing ever would be if she interviewed Tulsi Gabbard, after the years she's and all. Well, that's not going to happen because she still ranted on Tulsi after Trump picked her as a
National Defense, National Intelligence Director.
Yeah, Anna still ranted on her, so
of
that's
course.
not going to happen.
And look, and she I saw the video, a lot of it. She admitted the incident that happened in 2019 when Tulsi's running for president, and Anna wanted to interview her, but instead Tulsi wanted only Cenk to interview her, and that kind of bruised Anna's ego. So ever since, she's hated Tulsi Gabbard.
She already didn't like Tulsi before, so.
Yeah, and the reason, and I'm speculating, but the reason why I think is because she was running against Bernie and she was trying to shiv Tulsi. So it's like, what do I do? How do I find? She wasn't
running against Bernie. That wasn't.
But she was running in 2020 when Bernie was running.
But she wasn't running against him.
Yeah, so that's why that's why in her mind is like, I got to find a way to shiv Tulsi because she was getting a lot of support that Bernie should have been getting, in her mind at least. So I'm sure. So it's like, what do I do? What do I do? Oh, let me just run this hit piece on her.
Meanwhile, they also supported Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah. So they were fine with Elizabeth Warren or Bernie, but let me run this hit piece on Tulsi. You know me, I don't like her. And then it's like, then obviously she didn't want Tulsi, Anna to interview her, and that bruised her ego even further. And then she hates her ever since. So, so let's see. So we have some reports here about the media melting down over Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard. So, let's watch this.
We want to bring in Margaret Brennan, CBS News Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent and the moderator of Face the Nation. Margaret, there, as you know, has been concern about the specific picks for both the Director of National Intelligence.
She's concerned, the moderator of what did it say? Not Meet the Press, on Face the Nation. Anyway, it feels like, really? I mean, we're still doing these Sunday morning talk shows. Like, it's 1986. And I grew up with these Sunday morning talk shows, and they're not a thing anymore. Nobody watches them, but they still air them.
And Secretary of Defense, but not really a surprise when you think about it.
Well, not really, Jerika, because Donald Trump may be getting the result he's seeking, a shock to the system. And with several of these picks, we're seeing that. His choice for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who would lead the large and complex Pentagon with its nearly 3 million employees at a time of global tension, has served in uniform, but he has no previous government or management experience. Tulsi Gabbard, Trump's choice to oversee the 17 different U.S. intelligence agencies, has no
number 17, but
experience in that area and has publicly taken the side of U.S. adversaries in Syria and Russia. And I've personally heard concern from some U.S.
Based on what? The whole Syria thing started because Tulsi went to Syria and talked to Bashar al-Assad, and
which was good.
Yeah, and she dared to say, "Well, I mean, the U.S. shouldn't be bombing in Syria." That's what's going. That's why they say she sided with Syria.
And I still don't understand, why they still smear her with the Putin stuff. What Putin? I don't think she met with Putin. So
no. I think where that comes from is the Hillary Clinton smear from 2020, where she claimed
but
that
even before that, they were smearing her for the Putin stuff. So
yeah, that part, yeah, it's true. They were smearing her, but after Hillary Clinton said in 2020 that she was a Russian asset, that's when they really ran with it, the media, and they're still ever since then they're still bringing it up, like, well, she sided with Putin or whatever. Like, again, there's no evidence for this, but they just run with it because. Yeah. They hate her, so.
U.S. partners about her receiving a security clearance.
She already has a security clearance, you morons. Yeah. She's currently in the U.S. Army Reserve, and she has a security clearance. So if the military even suspected for 1 second that she is a Russian asset, they would take away her clearance. They haven't. So there's no evidence that she's a Russian spy or asset or whatever.
Jerika, intelligence is a trust game, as one former official said to me today, and being able to command that from partners is really critical.
That's right. And I understand you have some new reporting on RFK Jr. tonight.
Well, Jerika, early in the first Trump administration, the FDA had been directed to take meetings with RFK Jr. But when health officials got into power, those contacts were then cut off because they found he was unwilling to listen to data that conflicted with his personal opinions. And there was concern among health officials that because he was unreceptive to new information, continuing to meet with RFK Jr. would lend credibility to some of his false ideas. Now he's set to oversee public health, if confirmed.
All right, Margaret Brennan for us. Thank you.
See, again, they're assuming RFK Jr. wrote a book about Fauci and about vaccines, and he has pages and pages and pages of of sources. He sources everything in his book, and that's why his most recent book about Fauci and vaccines. And if you remember his infamous appearance on Breaking Points, where he humiliated Crystal Ball and ran circles around her.
Yeah.
So that wasn't good. So it's like, that's why they all assume he's lying, because they're desperate to maintain the status quo. And look, and is RFK Jr., my co-host Witchy says that he's a grifter. I mean, he probably is, but at the same time, it's like, what if he actually does some good things because he's talking about helping getting us healthier again and
Yeah.
reforming the food pyramid that the government puts out about what we need to eat and what we shouldn't eat, and going around and because in 1986 there was a law passed that basically gave the pharmaceutical industry immunity from lawsuits when it comes to vaccine injuries. Ever since then, we went from 3 vaccines to like 67 vaccines kids have to take now before they're like 3. I mean, it's an insane number, and that's why, because they're protected from lawsuits, from any injury. So, and then they swear up and down the media, like, oh well, our vaccines don't cause autism. That's not true. That's not true at all. But there's really no evidence for that in one way or another because nobody wants to study it. So RFK Jr. all he wants to do is study it, whether that's the case or not.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to study it. And in fact, I recently saw a video with Jank of all people, like 10 years ago. RFK Jr. asked him to do a debate, to moderate a debate between him and scientists about the vaccines, and no scientist wanted to even remotely wanted to debate RFK Jr. He couldn't do the debate, and I'm like, really? That's a new one, and I'm not surprised. I mean, even though the whole point of science is to is to debate and have conversations, they didn't want to talk about it. Because if it turns out, if by the way, we on YouTube want to make it clear, get your vaccines. I'm not saying you shouldn't get your vaccines. Please get your vaccines. But I mean, I think we have every right to question that. Let's say Trump's transition team says RFK Jr. is only in charge of data for already approved vaccines. Yeah, I mean that was the head of the transition team, but Trump clearly appointed an HHS director. So unless the bureaucrats actively try to block him from doing anything, then has a lot of power. His question is how he's going to use it, or if the bureaucrats will let him or try to not block him. Gates told Trump not to investigate the vaccines. Well, I'm sure he did, but if he unleashes RFK Jr. like completely in HHS, they're going to get investigated at the very least.
But we should now go over Warren's, AOC's, and Debbie Schultz's response on Tulsi's picks.
Yeah, I have.
First, we should go in order. First Warren, then AOC, then Debbie Schultz.
Question is, I know that I saved some of them. I just don't know if I have all of them here or not. Ooh. Excuse me. I have AOC's, but that's Trump. Yeah, but so it's very. Also, let's see. Dan Scavino is going to be an advisor to the president. Stephen Miller's back in the White House. I forgot to mention that. James Blair will serve as deputy chief of staff, and Taylor Budwich will be the deputy chief of staff for communications and personnel. Dan Scavino will return to the White House as assistant to the president and deputy chief of staff. So, yeah, that's more, those are more like White House appointments, not really cabinet positions. I think I know I've seen Elizabeth Warren's video.
Just go to
I thought I saved it.
Matt Rupar or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I mean he's a straight up shit lib. Oops. And I like responding to him because he's. I think I'm
Or you can even go to my profile where I responded to Warren. So.
Jesus.
Aaron Rupar, that's his name, Aaron Rupar.
Oops. Yeah. For some reason I thought it was Mike. So I know I saw, it was AOC, it was Warren. I mean, they all kind of like melted down. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Yeah, here it is. Debbie Wasserman Schultz on Tulsi Gabbard. Debbie Wasserman Schultz on Matt Gaetz. I mean, You have Nancy Mace. So even Nancy Mace is showing concern about Matt Gaetz allegedly. So we'll get to all that too. But I'm looking for the administration takes shape, and the media is completely like aghast. I mean, all the picks except for Marco Rubio. I haven't heard any complaints about him. In fact, they're celebrating that pick. But everybody else gets complaints.
But again, you can go to my profile. You'll see me post about Warren, AOC, and Schultz. So
everybody is like completely fine with Marco Rubio. In fact, they're all like, it seemed like they're celebrating it. Then they Huckabee's fine. They're fine with everybody except for the other cabinet picks. Like, no. Oh my, Nancy Pelosi running for re-election in 26. I mean, come on.
I heard about that.
It's like really. I mean, they cannot, like, she cannot retire. You know, she already quit being the leader for the Democrats in the House, but she's running for re-election again in 26. So she's not ready to fully leave Congress yet, even though that's probably what she should be doing, because she can barely. She sounds like she's drunk all the time now. You know, it's like so. Here it is. I think I may have scrolled past it. Yeah, I did. Here we go. So, Elizabeth Warren, Meltdown City. Let's see. Oops. I thought Elizabeth Warren. On Tulsi Gabbard. Do you really want her to have all the secrets of the United States and our defense intelligence agencies when she clearly has been in Putin's pocket? Again, it's like all
I do want her.
And many things I disagree with Marco Rubio on, and I haven't decided yet about voting for him, but he is.
She won't vote for Marco Rubio. I wouldn't be surprised she does, because we have to be bipartisan, and I wouldn't be surprised if Marco Rubio votes go 80 senators, 75, an insane number like that. A lot of Democrats will flip and vote for him.
Mm-hmm.
Qualified. He has experience.
See? Here, look.
On, and I haven't decided yet about voting for him, but he is qualified. He has experience.
See, Marco Rubio is qualified. He has experience, so she's definitely going to vote for him, or at the very least consider it. Unless the party tells her not to vote for him, then she vote. But if they're allowed her to vote, they'll vote in favor of Marco Rubio. She's already saying he has experience and is qualified.
We may have differences that would cause me to say I don't think that he should be Secretary of State, and we'll go through that. We'll listen to the hearings. I want to hear very carefully from him. But what we're talking about with people like Matt Gaetz is very different from what we're talking about with people like Marco Rubio, and we just have to keep that in mind. But do understand with Matt Gaetz, and you've already made this point, he's not the only one out there who is unqualified and who raises whole questions like Tulsi Gabbard does. You really want her to have all of the secrets of the United States and our defense intelligence agencies when she has so clearly been in Putin's pocket? That just has to be a hard no.
There's no basis for that. He just
repeating the fact that she's, I'll be back 1 second.
Well, let's see. Of course, he sold out the establishment just like Tulsi did. I didn't see Tulsi fly to Maui and Lahaina more money. I saw her do a kabuki theater a while back. Let's see. Warren's a snake. I definitely agree with that. Snake speaking about another snake. No thanks. Yeah, I mean, no doubt. Elizabeth Warren, and somehow she gets support from leftists and stuff, even though she sucks. So let's see. Share this tab. Get rid of this. Because there's AOC's interviews here too, and
no, I don't think it's there. You have to go to a different.
No, I saw it here. Unless I know I have it in my in my bookmarks, but let me just because it's so this is all so ridiculous. Like Like, who takes these people like even remotely seriously? It's like, oh, like, yeah, Tulsi is a Russian asset. No evidence, no nothing needed. Just say
No,
it.
not one more second.
And the media is just like, the media is like, yeah, definitely.
I can hear it.
The media is like for sure. So yeah, this is the clip that AOC Tulsi Gabbard's nomination is a pro-war nomination globally. Point blank period. Point blank period. So here's the thing. AOC's hypocrisy on this is legendary. Yeah, she was perfectly fine with Joe Biden and with Kamala Harris becoming president and supporting all their wars and supporting Ukraine and doing voting presidents with the Israel support and funding. She was fine with that. So her legendary hypocrisy knows no bounds. So on this, even though she's like, oh yeah, let me point the finger at Tulsi Gabbard for being anti-war, pro-war actually, and blah blah blah. So let's wait. Sorry, I didn't. There you go. I didn't share the screen. I realized it once.
And we haven't even gotten to Tulsi Gabbard potentially having access to national security information. And Russia loves it, loves her.
And I actually think almost more than Matt Gaetz, Tulsi Gabbard's appointment is devastating. And
can you explain
Tulsi
why?
Gabbard's nomination.
No explanation.
As much as she says that she's an anti-war person, she's not.
Yeah.
She supports very pro-war individuals,
including in Syria.
And let's be very clear: a Tulsi Gabbard nomination is a pro-war nomination globally. Point blank. Period.
As is Donald Trump as president of the United States.
See, he's
more pro-war than Tulsi is. She voted to send weapons to neo-Nazis in Ukraine. She also, I believe, she also voted for Trump's war budget. I believe she voted for that too.
She voted in favor of that.
As much as she talks about, Kamala's working tirelessly for a ceasefire, all that stuff. No, she doesn't really support Gaza. She supports Israel just like the rest of them.
Matt Gaetz a better politician than AOC. That says a lot about you. Yeah, I mean, he managed to. I mean, AOC didn't get a single goodie from Joe Biden when he endorsed. She's one of the first ones to endorse Biden when he won the nomination out of the progressives. And guess what? She got nothing. Like we talked about earlier in the show, she's supposed to get a higher position in the House in one of her committees, but that went to a Democrat that didn't even endorse Joe Biden. That's how little respect they have for AOC.
You should see my post responding to AOC. I'm pretty sure you saw that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's so let's see. So let's get to. My God,
Schultz.
Yeah. I mean, I have. There was two of them that I saw. One on here. It is one on Tulsi and one on Matt Gaetz. So let's start with Matt Gaetz first. Yeah, that's the first one I saw. So most parents wouldn't trust Matt Gaetz with their teenager, let alone with our entire system of justice. Again, making reference to the alleged 17-year-old girl that Matt Gaetz, had sex with, but allegedly. Again, there's no conviction, there's no evidence for this, but let's just say it out loud over and over again because if we keep saying it, it must be true, right? So
I can't hear
it. I can you not at all?
No.
Oh. Okay.
You sure it's not muted?
No, I can hear it. I'm gonna have to reload this. So. Okay. Bear with me 1 second because I can hear it. So. Okay. So I gotta share my screen again. But yeah, I mean. Debbie Wasserman, this is what Democrats do all the time. They lie. They say there's an alleged crime you may have done, and then they assert that you've done it. There's no conviction. There's not even a charge against Matt Gaetz. It's just, at least with Trump, there were charges. But he wasn't even charged with insurrection, but they still say he did an insurrection. So they just assert that you committed the crime. It must be true because we say that it's true, and the media says that it's true, even though there's no evidence.
No
There we
experience
go, now
whatsoever
yeah.
with the Department of Justice, other than being a subject of investigation for trafficking, sex trafficking minors. I mean, that's his experience with the Department of Justice, and I mean, we're talking about someone who would be responsible for the entire system of justice, who has been investigated by the system of justice and has no other experience other than that. It is an extreme, outrageous nomination, and one that obviously I think should be defeated.
And let's talk about former Hawaii Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard to be director.
Sorry, let me just add something else. I mean, because this is an extremely important appointment. I mean, you wouldn't trust Matt Gaetz. Most parents wouldn't trust Matt Gaetz with their teenager. Never mind with our entire system of justice.
How does he let her get away with that without pointing out, like, look, you're just smearing the guy now because he isn't even charged with that, let alone convicted. Instead, he just lets her spew this charge with no evidence and doesn't say anything. I guess he's afraid of losing. This is MSNBC, so it's like, no, let me not say anything because I might lose my job. By the way, Jose Diaz-Balart, the guy there, used to work for Telemundo, so now he's at MSNBC. I know because I used to see him cover news in Spanish at one point. My mother used to watch him. So now he's at MSNBC and is like, oh, wow, man. I knew he knew English, but I never thought that he would go to MSNBC. Oh, did you hear that rumor that Comcast wants to sell MSNBC?
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, there's like they're putting it up for sale, trying to get somebody to buy the shit. It would be hilarious if Elon Musk buys it. Like, do you imagine the meltdown from the employees there? It would be glorious if Elon Musk buys MS. I don't think he would, but it'd be glorious if he does. I mean, he's buying up Twitter and all these media outlets. I mean, it's possible he could buy MSNBC. But let's see what she has to say about Tulsi. I'm just spitballing there.
Tulsi Gabbard is someone who has met with war criminals, violated the Department of State's guidance.
All right. So first of all, the war criminals things. You've met with war criminals too, I'm sure, Debbie, because you're in Congress. So Netanyahu, you met Netanyahu. You met with you might have met with Saudi Arabia's leader.
Look how much money Debbie Wasserman Schultz is taking from AIPAC.
Yeah, so by that, the first thing there, she's met with war criminals too, and most of Washington met with war criminals, and they're fine with it. So just to smear Tulsi with that, oh yeah, by the way, she's met with war criminals. She's referring to Bashar al-Assad and Putin when she says that.
She never met with Putin.
Yeah, I know, but that's what she's referring to, obviously.
She's met towards you, it was towards her. So
she met with war criminals. All right, let's see what else she says.
Guidance and secretly, clandestinely went to Syria and met with Assad, who.
No, it wasn't a secret. It was open. She went to Syria as the congresswoman, as part of the delegation, and met with Bashar al-Assad. It wasn't secret. It wasn't like she was hiding. I mean, she was in Congress at the time.
Gassed and attacked his own people with chemical
weapons.
There
we go again.
No, he didn't.
False flag.
Again, why? And we have to go over this, but by that point, Bashar al-Assad was winning his war against the rebels, which, by the way, were funded by the U.S. But we're not.
If Assad is such a bad person, all that stuff, why do people keep electing him then?
Yeah, he was reelected again, in Syria.
Yeah.
Recently. So it's like, okay, why would he gas his own people when he was winning the war? And that was Obama's red line, if you remember. He couldn't use chemical weapons. And in fact, Syria gave up all their chemical weapons at the time. It's like, look, just take it. Just please don't bomb us anymore. Just take all our chemical weapons. And the U.S. did take it. And it was confirmed that the U.S. took all its chemical weapons. And somehow, all of a sudden, here comes a new chemical attack and gives the Obama administration another excuse to bomb Syria.
Yeah.
And of course, it turns out the White Helmet set it all up. We all know the history. Aaron Mate covered it fantastically. Mm-hmm. And, the OPCW, all that stuff. So if you watch, Aaron Mate, all this. But I'm just saying, and giving a general idea of what happened. So Debbie Wasserman Schultz is lying once again. So
considered to be essentially by most assessments a Russian asset. And
whose assessment? Which assessment? Are you talking about the intelligence agencies that now she's in charge of? Because I'm sure they're pissed off about that. It's like, damn, we smeared this bitch left and right, and now she's our boss. Yeah, we're gonna have big problems here.
Be the most
Is that how you consider her? Is that what you consider her?
Really?
Oh yes, there's no question. I consider her someone.
Look at that right there. I'm sorry, I have to interrupt this. Scan to listen, prosecuting Donald Trump, an MSNBC podcast. Really? It's like this network is built entirely to oppose Donald Trump now.
Yeah.
Which again, that's how they made their money the first 4 years. But and now Comcast is, I think they even had enough. It's like, we got to sell this fucking network, man. Somebody's got to buy this off us.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, to own this network.
Someone who is likely a Russian asset, who would be as the DNI responsible for managing our entire intelligence community, hold all of our most significant intelligence information and secrets, and essentially would be a direct line to our enemies. And so the irresponsibility of these appointments.
She can't even spit it out. Look, so what she's saying is she's going to take all the intelligence we get and hand it over to the Syrians or the Russians directly, which is treason.
Yeah.
I mean, if she
so
does
what
that,
the fuck is she wearing?
I don't know. It's like a dog suit. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to wear when you're in Congress, but I mean, it's too much. It's like, it's so absurd that these people are melting down, and there's more. I mean, we got a lot more. We have time to get into it. And then we're going to get into a little bit to the conspiracy theory that we covered yesterday on Snow's show, which I couldn't stay for the whole thing, but when the liberals are denying, the election, and they're blaming Elon Musk and Starlink. With that woman, right before I left, that woman, oh my God, she drove me away. I had to go to bed anyway. So it's like, I had to get up early.
Oh, yeah, her, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, Snow, I gotta go to bed. I did have to go to bed, get up early in the morning, but it was like, holy shit, man, I couldn't. So let's see. There's more. We got a lot more where that came from. So Nancy Mace claims on CNN that she supports Matt Gaetz because he's very good on civil rights and civil liberties issues. And to be fair, Matt Gaetz did say did tweet out a few years ago to pardon Snowden. So he's said and done some good things in Congress. So if he can convince Trump to pardon Snowden, that right there makes him a better president than Joe Biden. Just that one thing right there. To pardon Snowden, even pardon Assange. I know that's going too far. I mean, if you pardon Snowden, Assange is already out of jail anyways, I guess, let me try that again. Both Snowden and Assange deserve pardons. And Matt Gaetz,
and also, Mehdi Hassan is now also on the what if Trump didn't win and all that stuff,
Yeah, he's spreading that conspiracy theory. Even Kyle Kalinske is kind of giving he's not fully endorsing it, but he's kind of giving it like a wink and a nod that you should definitely keep doing this. Even though all these fucking people were the same people that run their mouths about how dare Donald Trump deny the 2020 election. Joe Biden won. It was fair and square. Now it's like all of a sudden now there's maybe a little bit of impropriety, or maybe is it a conflict of interest for Elon Musk to, have his Starlink connected to the internet with the election machines? Yes, it is, because he openly supported Donald Trump, so it is definitely a conflict of interest. But at the same time, liberals can't deny the result of the election, because they said it was a danger to democracy.
Yeah,
back in 2020, that's the standard they set. That's not the standard I set. That's their standard. Now they're like, no. Now we want to deny the election, which hilariously, they're hypocritical about it. So this is a CNN clip here. This is Oh, well, I do know that he said free or pardon Snowden for sure. I do know that.
Yeah.
That I saw the tweet from Matt Gaetz. So this is the the ex-CIA agent, or CIA Abby Spangenberger. The fact that these three essential roles might be led by individuals with no requisite or relevant background. John Berman did it. They saw this and they voted for it. So even the anchor is like, really, bitch? I mean, we voted for it.
The fact that these three essential roles might be led by individuals with no requisite or relevant background, and in fact a history of just.
I'm gonna have to reload it again. And we're having technical difficulties. Bear with me 1 second. But yeah, Abigail Spangenberger is a CIA, or used to be a CIA agent, allegedly.
Yeah, she had that tweet, that infamous tweet. I think it was a day or two ago, that said, "I was former CIA officer. I denounce Tulsi's position." You know.
He did. He wish Assange hadn't been freed. Well, I mean, that's, I didn't see that, but out for it because but still, nobody, I mean, he did definitely said he wants Snowden pardoned. So he's not, Assange, should be pardoned too, but I said that, so I might have missed that. So let's try this again and see whether this works this time.
It's the fact that these three essential roles might be led by individuals with no requisite or relevant background, and in fact a history.
I think I may be. Yeah.
You do have your stream at 720p, right? Do you?
Yeah, because we had kind of last week. Yeah, that's good. I don't know why it's not playing. I mean,
no, I mean it's playing, but it's just like I hear the audio, but the footage doesn't look good, and it's very laggy. So yeah.
Let me see. Let me keep playing it and see.
Just kind of outrageous and.
But I guess my point is, didn't America vote for this? Isn't this what people
weird.
They saw it?
Still,
they voted
for it.
Still
doesn't look good.
From my perspective, it is shocking. It is not surprising.
It looks fine here when I'm looking at it. That's weird.
What does the chat think? Does the chat look good to you or not?
The chat looks fine. Does anybody have a problem in the chat with the video? Because I've already read it, so.
The American people, and certainly.
Oh, now it's starting to.
The people I represent.
Wait, keep playing.
Are good people. Are people
there we
who
go.
are focused on their families, are focused
on
their concerns in and around our communities. They want their kids to be safe in school. They want to be able to afford their prescriptions at the pharmacy counter. They worry about retirement. They worry about being able to buy a home. And so there is so much conversation about what Americans did or didn't vote for, and certainly I supported.
I look at it here through my screen. It looks fine. That's weird. I mean, I don't know why it's lagging. Basically.
Now, and Steph's saying the video is lagging, so
yeah. I'm guessing it's. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why the videos are lagging. They were fine at the beginning of the show. Let's see. So yeah, as everybody knows, we have we have the media's melting down fully. And we have let's see. We'll get to the insane conspiracy theories about the election, and in a second here. Let's see. Do you believe CNN reports that reporters have been seen crying and hugging in the hallway after Matt Gaetz' nomination for Attorney General? Reporters, journalists allegedly been crying and hugging each other because I can't believe Donald Trump appointed Matt Gaetz to be Attorney General. Literally, CNN is claiming that that. So here it is. CNN reports that reporters have been crying and hugging in the hallway after Matt Gaetz' nomination for Attorney General. I may have to tonight. I may have to go through my, get all the junk out of it, maybe of the cookies and stuff, because that's messing with the video quality.
You can't be general, but he's not going to receive a very warm welcome from the career folks there. We've seen people today, our fellow reporters, crying, hugging in the hallways. I've gotten sources from text messages from sources, Trump administration, the Biden administration. is endorsing this.
What's your analysis?
They're crying. They're crying. They are fucking crying, guys, because they are fucking crying. Oh, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. That he was appointed. He was appointed Attorney General, and they spent years. And whenever the media hates you, it's like one of the worst things that you can imagine. So we got the FCC real quick, and then we'll get to the other thing, and then we'll go. Facebook, Google, Apple, Microsoft, and other has played central roles in the censorship cartel. The Orwellian-named NewsGuard, along with fact-checking groups and ad agencies that help enforce the one-side narrative. The censorship cartel must be dismantled. This is Brandon Carr, Commissioner of the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, senior Republican member on the 5-member commission, previously general counsel FCC. So he's been the FCC for years, obviously, and he sent letters to the CEOs of the major technology companies. So Messrs. Kai, Zuckerberg, Nadella, and Tim Cook of Apple. So it's like blah, blah, blah. Over the past few years, Americans have lived through an unprecedented surge in censorship. Your companies have played significant roles in this improper conduct. Big tech companies silence Americans for more than exercising their First Amendment rights. It targeted core political, religious, and science speech, and they worked often in concert with so-called media monitors, others to defend, defund, demonetize, and otherwise put out of business news outlets and organizations that dared to deviate from the unapproved narrative. Investigations, press reports, and other evidence shows that in many cases you did not act alone. Rather, you participated in a censorship cartel that not included not only technology and social media companies, but advertising, marketing, and so-called fact-checking organizations, as well as the Biden-Harris administration itself. The relevant conduct extended from removing or blocking social media posts to labeling whole websites and apps as untrustworthy or high, which was one Apple did all the time. I would see that in my app store, certain apps for untrustworthy or high risk, in an apparent effort to suppress the information and viewpoints, including through efforts to delist them, lower them in rankings, harm their profitability. This censorship cartel is an affront to Americans' constitutional freedoms and must be completely dismantled. Americans must be able to reclaim their free speech, indeed our democracy, the freedom of expression, and it goes on. He sends a long letter to them.
A minute ago, Steph said that you were breaking up. I don't know if it's still okay. Yeah, she's saying you're still breaking up really bad. So
I don't know why. I sound fine here.
Oh.
Do you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. That's weird that I didn't notice that you can send anything to me. So basically, this letter, is trying to get information from these FCC is trying to get information from these social media companies and big tech, so that's so yeah so I'm hoping that goes somewhere, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on it. So I'm gonna have to clear out my cookies because I'm guessing that I haven't done that in a while, and this computer is like really jammed up. So I'll do that over the weekend, and hopefully be fine tomorrow for pro wrestling talk. But let's see. He has a video of Matt Gaetz resigning from Congress, so he sent a letter. Doesn't really matter much.
Yeah.
And where is the? I know I saved it, but these people came up with such a conspiracy theory, and I'm seeing new ones about Elon Musk and Starlink and all this other stuff, and I'm like, what the hell? I mean, they came up with a convoluted theory and by the way, that woman that we looked at last night before I left Snow Show was like,
yeah,
she had no clue what she was talking about. She was like, oh, I'm gonna explain it to you in ways she spent minutes and I'm glazing over is she talking about a Wi-Fi signal? I mean, that's normal, that's not like it's something, like something that is over the top or like outrageous or new. No, it's something we've done all the time. Let's see.
Yeah.
That's I use a Wi-Fi signal. Most people do. Why can't I find? Oh wait, here it is. I'm a Democrat that fell into a conspiracy rabbit hole. My election being stolen by Trump and Elon last night. I had zero sleep. This is my story. So this is like another one. It's not the one we watched last night, but yes, this one. Kamala voters. So Kamala voters are now spreading conspiracy theories about the election being stolen by Starlink tally votes. This is dangerous to their democracy, I think. This TikToker claims that the systems were hacked. There's apparently a lot of top secret intel coming down that might be pointing towards a Kamala win soon. I want to believe it as source, but I heard source was TikTok. I knew it had a shot to being true. A little sarcasm there. I dug deeper and found out the aforementioned source was a woke retard with a septum piercing. I knew at this point this election must be stolen. Really? She was the original source of this? This Kamala voter claims that Elon Musk helped steal the election. Says that he read a thread about hackers, and apparently, who am I kidding? I watched 15 seconds and knew the rest was going to retarded, so I stuck my watermark there and enjoyed it a little bit. You didn't really listen to this guy at all. It's 3 minutes. I really don't want to listen to him either. This one's only audio, but it's still pretty funny. What is this one?
Made me think about OJ and how the LAPD, how they believe they planted evidence, and as a result, OJ Simpson got off. And had they just left everything alone, he probably would have been found guilty. But because they interfered with everything, he was able to walk. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this whole Starlink investigation. And
there's no investigation.
Election. They probably could have just left it alone, but I guess they were worried, and so they had to throw a little bit extra in it to make sure he won. This is about to get really interesting. And I'm no conspiracy theorist.
No, of course not.
But I'm beginning to be a conspiracy theorist because the math ain't mathing.
All right, so she's not a conspiracy theorist, but she's about to become one because it's not adding up.
Yeah.
All right, so Grandma's new conspiracy theory. What is this? Did they see this?
True? What happened after North Carolina got the hurricane? All those states on the east side of the United States, like the states that really count, when they got the hurricane, who came in and offered them internet access with Starlink? How many people signed up for Starlink? And if this whole Starlink thing is correct, holy shit.
So Elon Musk has a nice thing and allows people to use Starlink for free in North Carolina after the hurricane, which is more what the Biden administration did in North Carolina. But I digress.
So I just want to break something.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if we saw it before, or I don't know if you knew about it. Rand Paul is going to be the new chairman of the Homeland Security Committee. So
I didn't know about that. Is it broke now?
It actually broke several hours ago. So
I must have missed that then. Gray Zone
I
is still having
didn't see it
problems.
either, that's what I'm seeing right now. So
Okay. Gray Zone is still having problems in monetization and suppression. He's thinking about going to Rofkin, but I hear Rofkin's having problems. So we're having problems with Rofkin over INN. I mean, we haven't streamed to Rofkin in months because we can't even. It's a long story, but we pretty much can't get any. If you donated to Rofkin, we still haven't gotten that money. So as a network, so even to this day, even though we haven't streamed there in months, yeah. So that's what's going on there. So let's see. Oops, I went to the wrong tab. Let's see what else. What these people are. If you made it this far, okay. So that's it. Grandma, crazy grandma. Let's see. He claims he knows hackers. That's 3 minutes. That's way too long. This common law voter claims Elon Musk helped steal the election. That's more the same.
Since no one else is saying it, I'm gonna say it. Elon Musk made a video.
Elon Musk, not Elon. Yeah, he screwed up. He butchered his name. What is it? Elon Musk?
Say it. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. It's Elon, but okay.
Made a video stating that if Donald Trump lost, he was in huge trouble. Huge trouble. I'm gonna show you the video.
If he loses, man. You're fucked, dude.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
If he loses, I'm fucked. It does seem that way.
I'm sorry. That's sarcasm.
Yeah.
That's like he meant to say. He said that for real. Like, shit, if Donald Trump loses, I'm fucked. It's obvious sarcasm. They're laughing about it.
You can't just be like, yo, I'm like, how long do you think my prison sentence is going to be? Do you think, will I see my children? I don't know.
Now, that being said, I know that maybe there's some of you who agree with me that Starlink was used to hijack the votes. The votes don't make no sense. The numbers don't make no sense. When you see the rallies, when you see the amount of people that go to his
I don't
rallies.
understand the theory. What, Starlink somehow, the internet somehow changed numbers for Trump to win? Like, I still don't understand the conspiracy theory. Because Starlink is just internet access. It's satellite internet. So basically, you have a receiver, you put it somewhere in your house, it connects to the internet, you're able to use its high speed, and that's it. It's not like it could change the vote. I don't understand the conspiracy theory. And apparently she went mute there, so I don't know if that's me or...
To count vote?
No, that's probably the video went mute. But yeah, apparently she was the source of a lot of this shit. So and then there's 3 things. So.
They use Starlink to count votes?
No, they use Starlink to give the voting machines internet access. So there's no way Starlink can change the shit, as far as I know. I mean, what they're really... And there's another... They're not mentioning it here, none of these people. I saw another video of a Kamala supporter claiming a video, a Joe Rogan clip, where Joe Rogan says that Elon Musk told Dana White that he knew Trump won 4 hours before the results came in. And then they're trying to use that as a conspiracy theory. That somehow Musk, knew about the election results beforehand, even though that's speculation, because Elon Musk hasn't said that. It's Joe Rogan just saying, well, Dana White told me that Elon Musk knew about the results. So it was like double hearsay. So I'm not sure how true that is, but nonetheless, I digress. So I've seen that clip go viral. It's like, oh my God, see, Elon Musk, stole the election for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Allegedly,
it's absurd.
They used Starlink to tally the votes. And now you can't convince me that Elon Musk is not the dumbest person in the fucking world. Like, that sounds like a booby trap. You've never been a criminal before, have you? You fucking stole an eyeliner at Walmart, have you? So you mean to tell me you besties with a motherfucker who tried to steal an election before? They got an active case open for trying to steal an election before. And the people gonna come to you and say, we want to use your Starlink to tally your votes. And you gonna do it like a dummy. That sound like the people called your phone for some shit knowing you the motherfucker with it. And you done went and served the undercover. Oh, Lord have mercy. These people fucking stupid. Like, no way you're that much of a narcissist that you think you can play the United States.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't understand what she said there then, but yeah, I mean, this is absurd. It's like no evidence. This Starlink somehow stole the election for Trump, even though Starlink doesn't count the votes. It just connects to the internet. So yeah, unless Elon Musk has some secret what's the word I'm looking for? Something he has some kind of secret way that Starlink somehow counts votes and changes vote results. I mean, what they're accusing him of basically is hacking the voting machines, using Starlink to hack the voting machines. But do we know that Starlink can even do that? I'm not saying it's not saying it can't do it. I'm just saying there's no evidence for that either. Like somehow like Starlink's able to hack into voting machines and change election results. That's what they're accusing him of, but they can't say it properly, so it kind of screwed up, or not screwed up, but yeah. So I want to show. Let's see, because they all love to shit on Joe Rogan, and now after that clip, it's even worse. It's like, oh well, you know, Joe Rogan says he guarantees Joe Biden voted for Donald Trump after watching their meeting at the White House. And again, that's speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised because after what Democrats did to him, and that's not the video I'm looking for though. Biden's loving Trump. Yeah, that's guarantees Richard Nixon's removal from office. I played that video, in fact. Let's see. Where is it? It went mocking Sam Smith. There's a lot of people don't speak their mind. No. I thought it'd be easier to find Joe Rogan. Yeah, so this is just too absurd, it's like there's no evidence for any of this, but they insist on this. Joe Rogan gives highest praise to Elon Musk. He may have saved humanity in some way. I don't. Joe Rogan's kissing Elon Musk's ass lately is kind of annoying, but he's had him on his show so many times. I can't find it, but you guys seen that clip?
Witchy's question to me. One of the cats is right there on my bed, right there. If you see him, so yeah.
Yeah, little brother, where's Kitty? Okay, so yeah, so he's there. So yeah, let's see the chat. So Bad Cookies and stuff having a new political show. That's nice. Glad able to bring you guys together. Yes, I'm happy. It's like, hey, the more political shows calling out the bullshit, the better. So I don't have we don't want a monopoly on that. The more people that do that, the better. So I'm excited to see that show whenever it actually does debut. So keep me updated on that. But yeah, I guess let me see. Yeah, I want to see what Rand Paul was appointed to exactly because I know Christine Nome is heading up. No, not her. Is it the governor? She's setting up security. So
yeah, Rand Paul's position's different.
Okay, here it is. Senator Rand Paul is taking over the Senate Homeland Security Committee. Okay, so he's not leaving the Senate. He's taking over the Senate's Homeland Security Committee and promising to target the COVID cover-up. He even posted on X putting Fauci on watch saying, I bet we find him. So now Rand Paul's heading up the Homeland Security Committee, which gives him a lot of power to investigate whatever he wants, basically. So first thing he's apparently going after is any COVID cover-ups, which again, we need to, I would love to see those hearings and see what comes out of those hearings with Rand Paul in charge. Rand Paul isn't as what's the word I'm looking for? He isn't as honorable, let's say, of his dad. He's taken some corporate money, and he's taken, he's done favors for corporations. But he's still his dad. He has that streak in him where he wants to investigate government corruption and stuff. So his father was legendary. Hell, in 2008, for me, it's either Obama or Ron Paul, his dad. So it was like, if Obama didn't win, I would have voted for Ron Paul. If he would have won the nomination, of course, which he didn't. But so, let's see. He was demonized by all the Fauci sheep. Yeah, Rand Paul was, completely demonized because he had the nerve to go out. The few guys in the Senate went after Fauci. Everybody else was revering him and kissing his ass. Oh, thank you so much for saving us from COVID, Dr. Fauci. Oh, thank you so much for opposing Trump. And he's one of the few guys who stood up to him during the height of COVID. So that was huge. He earned some respect from me, but we'll see what he does as the head of the Senate Homeland Security Commission or committee. So Yeah, I mean, Steph, keep me updated on that new show of Bad Cookies because I would like to see that. And if you need a guest, I'm here. So I'm sure, just let me know. But yeah, I guess we're gonna wrap up now. I got much else to say, so I don't wanna, just babble away here. So thank everybody for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, make sure you stick around tomorrow night for Pro Wrestling Talk at 8 Eastern. And
I should be on at 9 Eastern.
Okay, well, I'll send you a link for tomorrow then. All right, well, that'll do it for this one. Just make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, and